This video is brought to you by the Paladin Learn History app. This is Acre, 1180 AD. Forget the Hollywood image of the Crusades. Forget the idea of noble knights in shining armor riding through green fields. If you were a Crusader in the Holy Land, what they called Outremer, you were living in a humid, dusty, fly-infested pressure cooker on the edge of the desert. You were wearing 40 pounds of iron in 100-degree heat, surrounded by people who spoke languages you didn't understand, eating food that burned your tongue, and waiting for Saladin to come over the hill and wipe you out. I used modern AI to reconstruct the Crusader city of Acre at the height of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. This isn't a history lesson about kings. This is a sensory dive into the sweat, the spices, and the sheer strangeness of being a European invader living in the Middle East. The day starts at 4 a.m. before the sun turns the city into an oven. You wake up in a stone barrack near the harbour. You aren't sleeping on a feather bed. You're on a straw mat. The first sound you hear isn't a rooster, it's a collision of worlds. You hear the bells of the Church of St. John ringing for matins, but at the exact same time, you hear the adhan, the Muslim call to prayer, drifting in from the suburbs. In 1180, despite the wars, Muslims and Christians lived right on top of each other. You shake out your boots to check for scorpions, a daily ritual, and step out into the street. The air is heavy. It smells of salt water, rotting seaweed, and the sharp tang of exotic spices that haven't even made it to Europe yet. By 6 a.m., you are at the harbour. Acre was the New York City of the 12th century. It was the gateway. You watch a Genoese galley docking. It's unloading the lifeblood of the kingdom, pilgrims. They stumble off the ships, pale, vomiting, and terrified. They have never seen a camel, never tasted a lemon, never felt heat like this. You, the veteran, a poulain, a crusader born in the East, look at them with a mix of pity and contempt. They are here to save their souls. You are here to survive. They are wearing heavy wool tunics that will kill them by noon. You are wearing light linen and silk because you've adapted. By 8 a.m., you enter the souk, the market. This is where the ideology falls apart and the reality kicks in. You are technically at war with the Saracens, but here in the market, you are buying their stuff. The Crusader states couldn't survive without trade. You walk past stalls piled high with sacks of pepper, cinnamon, and sugar. Sugar was a revelation to the Crusaders. They called it sweet salt. You see a Templar knight buying a Damascus steel dagger from a Muslim merchant. They haggle in a mix of French and Arabic. This is the lingua franca of the Levant. Money has no religion here. The gold Byzant coin used by the Crusaders actually had Arabic script on it praising Allah because that's what the local merchants trusted. By 10 a.m., the heat is becoming dangerous. You head towards the headquarters of the military orders, the Templars. These guys were the Navy SEALs of the Middle Ages, but they were also the bankers. You walk into their fortress by the sea. It's massive, built of heavy sandstone. Inside, it's cool and dark. You see knights in white mantles with red crosses counting gold. A pilgrim hands them a letter of credit from Paris, and they hand him a bag of gold coins. In Acre, they invented international banking right here. But don't let the accounting fool you. In the courtyard, sergeants are drilling. The sound of steel on steel is constant. These men are fanatics. They don't retreat. If they are captured, they are usually executed because they are too dangerous to ransom. By 12 p.m. noon, the sun is a physical weight. You are wearing a hauberk, a shirt of chainmail. It weighs about 12 kilograms. In the European winter, it's fine. In the Israeli summer, it cooks you. The metal gets so hot it can blister your skin through the padding. This is why Crusaders started wearing those flowing surcoats over their armor. Not for fashion, but to stop the sun from turning them into baked potatoes. You seek shelter in a tavern run by an Italian merchant. You drink watered-down wine. Water is risky. Dysentery kills more Crusaders than arrows. You might try a local drink, sherbet, fruit syrup mixed with snow brought down from Mount Hermon. It's the ancestor of sorbet, and it's the most refreshing thing you've ever tasted. By 2 p.m., you are hungry. Lunch isn't a boar roasted on a spit like in England. Pigs are hard to raise here. You are eating the local diet: chickpeas, lentils, mutton, and flatbread. You dip the bread in olive oil and za'atar. You eat dates and figs. The new arrivals hate it. They want beef and ale. You know that this diet keeps you alive. You might visit a doctor in the afternoon. And here is a terrifying choice. You have two options: a Frankish doctor or a local Syrian doctor. The Frankish doctor will probably bleed you or saw off your leg if you have a sore toe. The Syrian doctor will use clean water, herbal poultices, and diet. Smart Crusaders learned very quickly to trust the infidel doctors over their own. By 4 p.m., you head to the walls. Acre had double walls, massive fortifications. You look out over the plain of the Galilee. Somewhere out there is Saladin, the Kurdish sultan who united the Muslim world against you. There is a constant low-level anxiety in the city. You are outnumbered. The Crusader kingdom is a thin strip of land clinging to the coast. You are a colony living on borrowed time. You check your crossbow. The Crusaders adopted the crossbow heavily because it could punch through Saracen armor, but the Pope hated it. He called it a hateful weapon, but out here, you don't care what the Pope thinks. You care about stopping a Mamluk cavalry charge. By 6 p.m., the sun sets, and the call to prayer rings out again, mixing with the Vespers bells. You go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, if you are in Jerusalem, or the Cathedral of St. Cross. The incense is thick. The walls are covered in mosaics, a style borrowed from the Byzantines. You pray, and this is the core of it. You are a killer. You have slaughtered people in the name of God. But you genuinely believe that by being here, by suffering in this heat, your sins are washed away. It's a psychological armor that is stronger than the chainmail. By 8 p.m., the city transforms. The Crusaders were pious, but they were also sinners. The port area of Acre at night is a hive of gambling, drinking, and prostitution. The Poulains, the locals, had a reputation for luxury. They wore silk, they used perfumes, they bathed daily in hammams, Turkish baths. The fresh Crusaders from Europe thought they were soft and effeminate. "You have become natives," they sneered. But you know the truth. You bathe because if you don't, you get skin rot. You wear silk because wool chafes. You have adapted. By 10 p.m., you are back in your barrack. The wind is coming off the sea, cooling the stone walls. You can hear the waves hitting the sea wall. You play a game of dice with a Genoese sailor. He tells you news from Europe. Kings are fighting, crops are failing. It feels a million miles away. You are in Outremer. You are on the edge of the world, lying on your straw mat at midnight, listening to the strange, polyphonic sounds of a city that is half European and half Arab. You realize the tragedy of this place. It is vibrant, it is wealthy, and it is doomed. In just 7 years, at the Battle of Hattin, Saladin will crush the Crusader army. He will take Jerusalem. The kingdom will fall. But for tonight, in 1180, the banner of the cross still flies over the harbor, the spices are flowing, and the city is alive. You close your eyes, praying that the siege towers don't come tomorrow. That was the life of a Crusader.